You're gonna have to bear with me for a second while we get this sort of dialed in. Let's see here. Okay, I don't know if it's how the brightness is on this, but bear with me for a sec, folks. Charlie Mullins, good to see you, my brother. Let's see here. It's not too bad, right? It's a little dark. My face is probably a little dark, but that's all right. Let's get this thing. Let's see here. It's always scary when you move a tripod. You know what I mean? Seems like there's an excellent chance that you're gonna dump the entire camera and everything onto the ground, and that's always a little frightening. But good morning, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the lifeboat. So, as promised, first thing in the morning, we are live. Well, it's first thing in the morning on the West Coast where I live. Here on the East Coast where I am vacationing, it's actually almost lunchtime. But you want to see something cool? Look what I found this morning while walking around. It's a coconut. It's actually, you can hear all the liquid in that. That would be real coconut fluid there, not the stuff that they sell you at the store that has absolutely nothing to do with actual coconut. So let's see who we've got with us today. I'm going to be going back and forth squirrel style, people, because we're going to be doing this a little different than normal. But it looks like we've got Charlie Mullins. We got the seventh son. Good to see you, seventh. Justin and Lucinda Roberts. Oh, so cool. Good to see you guys, man. It's awesome. We have Miss Hermit Hill, Kentucky. Good, good. And from the look of it, we've got quite a few people who are just observing. And that's awesome too. Kent. Good morning, Kent. M. Hunt, good to see you. Dylan Arnold. You're having a hard time. Well, Dylan, reach out. I'm not going anywhere, and no need to apologize ever. You know, people tend to do that stuff in their own time, and that's fine. It's it's one of those things that you can't rush. When you feel like the time is right, then absolutely at that point reach out. Can I get a 5x5 on the sound? I'm working without a microphone, people, and I realize that I probably need to scream in order for this to come out the way it's supposed to, but we're kind of winging it since we're outside. Seventh Son gives me a 5x5. Excellent, thank you. I wanted to talk about a couple of things from last night's live feed because I think that they are relevant. If you were not on, hey, DJ Daddy-O, good to see you, Mr. T. If you were not on last night's live feed, then this probably isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. But if you were on last night's live feed, you heard the discussion, and it was about owning your past, and very specifically owning your past as it pertains to the people that you care about, your loved ones. And I got a bunch of emails and direct messages from people that said, hey man, you don't owe them explanations. People, I wasn't interrogated by my family. It wasn't at all how it went down. It was a conversation that they're interested in who I am. It wasn't a thing where people were good sound and beautiful background. Thank you, Justin. It wasn't one of those situations where I was being interrogated, and that's kind of the emails that I got. It was a really loving, awesome conversation, and I was having it with my aunt, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. That's no lie. I mean, truthfully, just one of my favorite people, and it's a crying shame that there was a big block of time that we were not communicating, and that block of time was my fault. So if you listened to something last night and got something other than that out of that, I'll take whatever responsibility I can for me. Hey, Oculi Mortis, good to see you. I will take full responsibility for whatever I did to sort of screw that up, and I will ask you to take whatever responsibility that you have. Chi-Chi, good to see you. Because truthfully, people, that is not at all what I was trying to convey. It was a lovely, beautiful conversation. But what I was trying to get across is this. Those people, Brandon, good to see you. Those people in your life are going to be interested in what has happened to you. It doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them wrong. If anything, that is loving. It's probably the ultimate, it really is like the ultimate embodiment of love. They're interested enough that You know, if somebody's not interested in you and you say, well, you know what, I spent a lot of time wrestling with drug addiction. Someone that doesn't have a great deal of interest and love towards you can pretty much let that die at that, can't they? Oh, great. It's good to hear that you're sober. Fantastic. But if they're really somebody that that cares about you, there's going to be some questions that these people want answered, and that is normal, and it's loving, and it's perfect. And I think that somehow some of you sort of missed the point on that last night. I was not for a second saying that this is something you endure because it's you just have to endure it and it's part of. No, it's a beautiful process, but we have to guard ourselves against that chip that we develop on our shoulders. That's part of being in recovery. There is, whether we want to admit it or not, there's a chip that develops as soon as you say I'm sober. And it's like, well, this is the new me, and you've got a lot of what asking me about the old me. Why don't you just talk about the new me and treat me like, if somebody really truthfully cares about you and loves you, that entire process that you're going through is something that they're going to be interested in. The Scotch Sonnet, good to see you, brother. I love it when you make it on live feeds. I really do. People, we're taking a big risk here, but we're going to move this tripod. Look at that, and the camera did not fall over. See that? Where is Swiss Vapor to pick on the big hands, right? Captain Clumsy Squirrel? I just moved the entire tripod and camera without a problem. I was pretty courageous to say that too, because that's usually right around the time that the camera falls to the ground and shatters. Last night's live feed. Hopefully this clarified that, right? Chi-Chi says, I love the view. You know what, Chi-Chi? It's not even doing it justice. I'll be really honest with you. Because I want some concrete under my feet, and if I get really close to the edge of the water where I would love to film, you're not going to hear anything. The sound of the ocean is almost overwhelming. But if you look behind me, you see that fence right here. There's like a platform there that where they've got like chaise lounge kind of things, and recliners where you can just sit and watch the ocean all day. It's a little after 11 o'clock here on the East Coast, and the ocean right now is almost like glass. There's very little. That is unsanitary. The ocean right now is almost like glass, but within a few hours there are going to be big rollers that are going to be coming in, and at that point it really starts to get loud. I'm putting these on, even though they're the wrong strength. I'm going to be getting the correct strength hopefully today. Hockey Life says, I love the sound of the ocean. You know what, I do too, and it's probably a whole lot more cathartic than listening to me speak. Honestly, I should probably just set up down by the water's edge and let everybody just sort of groove to that sound for an hour. We'd probably get more done. Fiona Crispin, Lady Fiona Crispin says, hi everyone, it's 3 a.m. here. I am sleepy, so I'm really only going to here to say hi. Fiona, go to bed. What's the matter with you? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We love you. Go to bed. That's just way too late to be up. And you know what's going to happen, people? You watch. We're going to do a live feed tonight, and Fiona's going to miss that live feed because she's going to say she was up too late. Lady Fiona, go to bed. Everybody yell at Lady Fiona. I ought to get some sleep. We could very easily do an entire show right now on how important sleep is in the recovery process. Now, I realize that Fiona is not really truthfully in the recovery process. She's one of the people that is here just to support others. However, no matter what, sleep is important, and you're obviously not getting it if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're listening to this live feed. And no excuse, by the way, people, because these things stay up forever, right? They're going to be there 10 years from now. They don't go anywhere. So, Fiona, go to bed. I'm sorry, people. This is one of those like foofy coffees with really great creamy and like the head on top of it and all of that. And I can't stop drinking it. I know it's probably rude. Captain, I have a question. Let me see here, because I'm not going to see it perfectly. I did without drinking during the C19 for 40 hours. Let me see this again. Captain, I have a question. I did without drinking during the C19 for 40 hours, and I couldn't sleep. What can I do? Dylan, this is one of those questions that plagues everybody, and I wish that I had a pat answer. I could say, if you do this, you're going to go to sleep. But the truth of the matter is that everybody in recovery goes through this. There's a bunch of different answers. I have been having a lot of luck lately with some of the programs on YouTube from people that put up different sort of brainwave kind of stuff. You put some headphones in and they play. You can't really call it music. It's more like sounds. It's pulsations and it's things that get the rhythm of the brain into some kind of a pattern. And I've been having a lot of luck falling asleep with that. In terms of medications, it's really dangerous for anybody in recovery to start going down that path where you're taking anything for sleep. The over-the-counter stuff tends to not be habit-forming, but once again, we tend to develop habits for things that aren't habit-forming, right? That's sort of the defining characteristic of all of us. Andrew Eats, good to see you, brother. But there's, the active ingredient in Benadryl helps some people. It's also in NyQuil. It's called diphenhydramine. By the way, I am not a doctor. These are just things that have worked for me as a drug addict in trying to get some sleep. One of the things that that works, there are natural remedies, a lot of them that people take. Oh my goodness, that's the very first crew member on the boat has just chimed in. Haven't seen him in a minute. How's everybody doing, he says. I can never pronounce his name right, people. It's one of those things I screw up all the time, but he literally was a crew member here before there was a crew. We met each other on I was leaving a comment on someone else's, on a post that someone else did. I think it was on Instagram. And I just said, he left a comment talking about being in a bad place. And I said, I wish my channel was up and running because this is the kind of thing that we're discussing. And we started to talk back and forth. And the next thing you know, the very first person that we ever had here. So keeping back on to not get too squirrely here, back to the sleep thing. You're going to struggle with sleep. One of the things that people can do in terms of natural remedies, the more tired you are, the better. I mean, that's obvious, right? So working out is something that helps a lot when people are trying to get back into that rhythm of sleep. Unfortunately, very oftentimes when we quit whatever our bad habit is, we're also not doing a lot of the things that make you tired. We tend to lay around, and I'm not casting aspersions. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm saying as a whole, right? We tend to stop exercising. We tend to stop doing all of the things that would normally make your body tired. So I know that when I quit, doing heroin, I didn't get out of bed for the first, probably 2 weeks. Literally, I was in bed most of the time, and you may not be sleeping, but you're certainly resting, and you don't really wear out the body enough so that when that time comes at night when you would be laying down to go to sleep, I would say fight as hard as possible to make sure that you are awake all day long. And I would try to implement some things that are going to make your body tired. An hour of working out a day really does wonders. And in the beginning, when you're quitting any substance, that's difficult. But if all you're doing is walking, anything that you're getting some kind of physical activity, and yes, Seventh Son, you do hear doggies. They're absolutely beautiful. If one of them comes by, they're a type of dachshund, except they have long hair. They're cute little mini guys about this big, and there's two of them that frolic about, so to speak. They're friends. It's very, very funny watching them run around. I've been in a recovery center, not for active use, but for my mental problems. Was in danger to myself. We're happy you're here, brother, and we're also happy that you're taking care of yourself. You and I have been hanging out now for a very long time, and you have, to your credit, have been addressing the problems in your life, and that's what it's all about, really. And one of these days, I need to learn phonetically how to say your name. I think I'm just going to go with MVB. Right? You can't go wrong with that. I can't mispronounce that. MVB, my brother. Yeah, that works. And Lady Fiona, still here. And still not going to bed, which is a little distressing. It's a pretty simple concept. Go to sleep, right? But She's going to fight us on this one. Hopefully you're here this evening. Okay. Random person in the background. No, it's not a random person, actually. That is, these are people that work on this property and have many of them for years. They're family, I think, at this point with my uncle. Seven Sons says, Dylan, alcohol is my dragon. And you know something, Dylan? It's very oftentimes on the lifeboat, you're going to get better advice from the people who are crew members with you than you're going to get from me, especially considering what my drug of choice, previous drug of choice was. I never really had a problem with alcohol. Mine was heroin, but I would definitely listen to some of these people. Oh no, Andrew says, my other half and I both have the C plus math. I feel okay, but a bit run down. Your three boys are negative so far. Andrew, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers. That's terrible, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm happy to hear that your boys, are still dodging that bullet. Hey, Brett, really good to see you. Appreciate you stopping in. It's been a while. Just dropping in to say those in the chats here have been positive influence for me and great people who care and love. So off now. Brett, please take care of yourself for the day. And as most of you know, my birth name, my original name was Brett. So it's always funny when I see it in the chats. But Brett, please take care of yourself. It's great to have you here, man. Really great to have you here. Dylan Arnold says, this is helping so much. You know what, Dylan? You're going to find, I'm telling you, that and I think people miss this, but the greatest help that you're going to get from the lifeboat consistently comes from the crew. It's not something that you get from those of us who are hosting or those of us who are talking. Very oftentimes what we do is just sort of get the ball rolling, and then the subject matter, takes a life of its own because so many people here know so much about recovery. It's a unique